This is UMass basketball.
I know this. I'm the most animated coach that you've probably ever seen.
Diggins, he'll let it fly. Soft as summer rain. Rasul Diggins grows the UMass lead.
Hey, he's just being frank.
And welcome once again into Just Being Frank, coming at you from the Podcast Emporium here inside the Mullins Center. My name's Jay Burnham, voice of the Minutemen, alongside head coach Frank Martin. Coach, it's time, buddy. You ready?
I am ready. I wish we would have done this before practice, not after practice. Today was the first day we were a little sloppy, and so my head hurts a little bit right now.
So you're just trying to get everybody aligned, right? And the guys actually got their first taste of playing games. You had 2 exhibitions, so I want to cover those. But just general thoughts as you went down to Brown, played them and won. We'll go through that box score, and then here at home against Rhode Island College. What were your overall impressions of your team in those 2 contests?
Yeah, kind of consistent with who we come in here every day with. The mindset, the depth. We play fast. We play physically. We're physically competitive. Offensively, I thought all preseason we've been a really good passing team. We share the ball. Nobody's trying to hold the basketball and do their own thing. We played 2 different styles. The Brown game, we wanted to play more in our 5-out stuff and work on our cuts and passing with 5 on the perimeter. And I thought we shot 36% from the field in the first half. Took really good shots. The first half we turned it over 7 times, I want to say. Second half we turned it over 2 or 3 times. But the consistency with how we played, I thought, was really fun to be around. And then this last game, we played a different style. I wanted to play more in our power game, our old triangle 3-out, 2-in stuff. And I thought we handled that the right way. We didn't convert offensive plays early in the game, which negated us having a 15, 16, 18-point lead by the second media time out of 12. We didn't defend in the first half as well as we needed to. Part of it was they play 5 guards. And they invert the game. That means point guards ball screen for their centers. And I wasn't into giving our guys the answers to the test. I wanted them to problem solve and figure it out and not get frustrated. And as the game went on, we did that. Yep. And obviously we started converting some of our free throws and layups, and our defense just kind of started cleaning itself up a little bit, and we were able to pop that game open.
I look at the box score here, and I think I'll focus more so because we do have the box score for the Brown game here, 38-33. You guys were trailing at the half. Mm-hmm. Then you come out in the second half, and by the way, hit 14 threes overall, 14 of 27. I don't know, last year that would have been a pipe dream, right?
That was like a month.
So, what were the feelings there down at half in the exhibition, and then I guess what flipped in the second half?
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't really worried that we were down. We just started missing shots. That's it. We started missing shots. And if we had continued to make the shots, and I'm not talking about bombs, I'm talking about just simple shots, and a couple of threes. We shot wide open threes. We just didn't make them. We're probably up 5 instead of down 5. So I wasn't overly worried about that. I made a decision this offseason that I was going to commit summer basketball and most of preseason, majority of preseason, to getting our offense to be consistent, so we have better ball movement, player movement, and play more with a purpose than just 1 or 2 guys dribbling around and shooting the ball. We've been pretty good there. Yeah. To Matt Figger and Brian, those 2 guys, Brian lives through analytics, and
Brian Steele.
Brian Steele, my assistant, and Matt Figger, he pays more attention to analytics than me. He's somewhere in the middle. And they both have come up to me with our offensive efficiency rating, OER, whatever that is. In both games, it's been like 1.357 or something like that. And they both said that an offensive rating at that number, basically it's the best in the country. So if you translate one game into that, you say, oh, wow, they had a good shooting day.
Right.
Well, then we played a completely different style. And I get it was an inferior opponent, but still, assist numbers way up, turnovers way down. We're basically averaging almost 3-to-1 as a team assist to turnovers right now. And that's including our scrimmages and practices. Our offensive efficiency has been off the charts, and we've got balance. There's different guys getting field goal attempts. There's different guys handling the ball. There's different, Leo's a very productive player. Leo has to rebound better. Dan Sanford's taken a significant step forward as a basketball player. Marcus Banks is a highly established, productive college basketball player. That's continued. And now you got all these other guards that are basically playing Division I basketball or playing here for the first time, one or the other.
Yeah.
And they continue to get better. So I'm excited. I think our freshmen are good. Danny, especially Danny and DJ Wembley, Danny Carbuccia, that is. Bilal Osman's a really good player. Today he actually practiced really well.
I saw him hit a couple threes.
Yeah, he missed the first 2 weeks with a fracture in his elbow, and so it's hard to come back when you miss 2 weeks of practice, let alone the first 2 weeks of the year when you're a freshman.
When everyone's pulling ahead,
yes,
and you're trying to now catch up. But you mentioned Marcus Banks Jr., who, look, when we talked about his arrival and you're saying, look, this kid can shoot the basketball. Mm-hmm. We look at the numbers and they says, this kid can shoot the basketball. And then he goes out. What's he do? He shoots the basketball. 7 of 7 from three-point range. I don't want to set the expectations at that level, but just a tremendous performance from him. I mean, was he getting open? I didn't get the ability to watch this game on TV, or it wasn't televised, I should say, and we were occupied with football this past weekend. What were the looks like for him in that game from three-point range?
Yeah, in the Brown game, all his shots were just players playing and understanding how to play off each other. We called one play all game for him, and he actually made the three. We executed, he made the three. The rest of the game was just off a feel. Guys just understanding spacing and all the stuff, the concepts that we've been working on. In the second half, the first half of our game against Rhode Island College, he picked up 2 fouls early, and I took him out. I'm trying to develop guys, get guys ready. He's played a bunch of college games. There's some other guys that got to get ready. So I played the other guys. But then the second half, his threes were based from our structure in our power game, screening off the ball, using screens. And he made, in the second half, he came off a stagger and made a three. And the second one was a simple pin down. His man got off the body, and I call it a bump, which is a fade. And he made the cut, and we made the pass, and he made that one too. So he shoots it at a high clip, and it's fun to see that it's hard to run a play for a guy every time to get a shot. You got to be able to just play through your concepts and understand where to get the separation from to get your shots. And he's doing that. And he doesn't try to shoot it every time he touches it either. Like he's a winning player, and it's that's rubbed off on everyone else on our team.
I think there's a lot of excitement to see what each one of these guys can do individually and what they look like as a unit. You mentioned Carbuccia, 5 assists in the win against Brown. And one of the things you had told us about him was, hey, this is a kid that likes to distribute the basketball. Did he do that? I mean, the numbers would tell me he did.
Yeah. And there's the big guys, because he makes some passes that other guards don't attempt. So he and the bigs are still trying to he sees the pass and he makes them, and the bigs got to get ready to catch, especially when the ball's in his hands. They got to be ready to catch the ball because he's going to pass it if you're open. And so it's a step more that we got to take, and that's why you play the season. You got to keep getting better at these things. But he's an assist for him is like some guys just shooting a layup. Like it's he's very comfortable, and he's not trying to hold on to the ball. Has a great mind for the game. Obviously, he's been prepared very well between. He's had some dynamic people in his life at Stepanak that taught him how to play.
Yeah.
Obviously, with his AAU program, he played in one of the elite AAU programs in the country, and then his dad. His dad is a basketball savant, and he knows the game, and then playing internationally. So the good thing where I'm going with this is that he's played with so many good players on every team he plays on that he's at peace with, let me not hold the ball and make it my show. He wants to win because that's what good teams do.
And I mean, we could go through all the guys, but I also noticed KJ Parker in that game against Brown, 2 for 4 from 3-point range, also a couple of assists. He feels like a guy. I mean, how do you feel with him running the offense and kind of what he's brought to the table?
Yeah, it's great balance because him and Danny are different as players. KJ's playing more off of pace and his jump shot. And when you come out, then KJ makes certain passes. There's some passes Danny makes that KJ's not great at. So it gives us the flexibility of doing different things and having two guys that can complement one another on the court. Neither one's a ball-dominant guard. That's the best thing. So that means that the ball's not going to stick. When the ball sticks, people eventually stop moving. Yeah. They play differently, but neither one's a ball-dominant guard, so they're comfortable with that. KJ's just he's trying to learn at the speed that we're asking him to play at. He's gotten used to playing a little slower and more methodical, but we're trying to get him out of that comfort zone and get him playing a little faster. And he's making.
Is
the
that just a
adjustment.
product of where like the stops he had in the past and kind of the different styles that those teams played?
Yeah, probably. I mean, and that's Jay, that's the thing in the world we're in right now is that as coaches, Tony Bennett is one of the icon coaches in my lifetime.
Yeah.
So's Jay Wright. They played two completely different styles of basketball. So if a guy played for Tony Bennett, went to play for Jay Wright, I had to make major adjustments to fit into how Villanova wants to play. And vice versa. If a guy played Villanova, went to play for Tony Bennett, he has to make major adjustments as to how they play to be able to impact Virginia basketball. And it's no different with the guys on our team. Those guys are they're making adjustments to fit in the style of basketball we want to play, and then me as a coach. Like the question earlier about KJ and Danny, they're two different players. They play differently. So when one is involved in action, for lack of better words, I've got to make sure that I put them in certain spaces to make their strength show, not ask them to do the same things that the other guy does. And they're different that way. And that's, as a coach, that's fun.
Hey, speaking of Villanova.
Oh, boy.
How about our guy, Ricky Harris?
Oh, yeah.
Be on staff at Villanova this year. Do you talk to him at all? Stay in touch with him? How's he doing?
Yeah, he's doing great, man. He's doing great. Ricky, you were around him. Ricky's got one of those personalities that just
if you're having a bad day, he'll make you feel better.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. There's a reason why, as a player, his team's won. He can really score. And I was just talking about ball dominant guards. I hope he pays attention to his podcast. He's one of the great shoot it every time he touches at guys. But everyone still liked him.
Yeah.
Because he's such a great personality and he's a giver. He wants to help people. And I'm not surprised. That's why when the job opportunity at Maryland came up, and he came to see me, I said, you got to do it, man. Yeah. Like, number one, it gets you close to where you're from, Baltimore, and go make money. And if he's going to give you the responsibility that he's telling you, you got to take advantage of that. And he did, and here we are. Now he's at Villanova, and they've given him even more responsibility.
Is that, that's a world I have no knowledge of if you're a young coach or, you know, a lot of times guys start at the Dobo level, then their video, and then they get on at the end of the bench. Do they get sold a bill of false goods sometimes where the staff will say, hey, come be with us, you're going to have all these responsibilities, and then ultimately that can fall through sometimes?
Well, that depends on you, too. It depends because they hire you to do a certain job, and you're not doing it as well as you can, but you're a great personality. They got to change your responsibilities. It's the guys that don't know what they're doing, and they got that drag mentality personality. I almost said something here I don't need to be saying. And those are the ones that end up getting pushed out. And what's different between, like, let's say Ricky and me, I had done all those jobs already by the age of 35. Ricky had just retired from playing after so many years of playing professionally. So he was trying to learn the administrative side of the business, which if you want to be in this business, you better understand the on-court stuff. You better understand, and not just as a player, as a coach, because it's different, but you also need to understand the administrative side of the business, the video stuff, the paperwork, the operations of everything that goes on travel. And, you know, Ricky had no idea what he was doing when he was trying to organize our team travel. Yep. We helped him, you know, but he's got to learn if he wanted to have a career in the business.
And, I mean, add to that all the other administrative stuff that has come down the pike and might still come down the pike, you know, with all the rules changing, eligibility changing. I mean, you're about to play a Marshall team that has a 7'4" center who's been on 5 teams in 7 years.
This is his 7th year?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Wow.
So I know there was talk about changing how many years guys can be eligible. They were saying instead of 4, make it 5. I mean, those are constantly.
Calipari had a great idea. You know, he said you get 5 years to play 4. And if you never transfer and you play all 4 years at one institution, we'll give you a 5th year. So now you can actually play a 5th year.
Interesting.
I thought that was a great idea.
So that would, I guess, value more, because now if a kid's going to redshirt, let's just hypothetically say for any program, football, basketball, whatever, and you say, hey, we want to redshirt you, that's a flag for them to then just want to go somewhere else, right? There's no guarantee of what's going to happen. There's no benefit for them at some point.
Correct. Redshirting was a great way to build a program. Now redshirting is a great way of saying at the end of the year someone's leaving your program. So that's why getting that extra year if you stay at one school, I think that's a great idea. And by the way, Cal, I don't know if you're looking, and I don't know if you'll see this, but Coach Huggins always told me, you're the best guy in the country to take my ideas and make them yours. I'm giving you credit. That is your idea.
All right, we'll clip that for him. All right, we'll put it out there. That is a great idea.
Yeah.
But it takes, I think it's going to take, now we've completely gone off topic here, but it will take being creative in certain ways to bring back, I think, what a lot of folks love about college athletics, which is, and you've said time and time again, watching kids develop and grow in a certain place, in a certain system.
Think about our team right now. Jaden Jinga, Daniel Sanford are night and day who they are as players and people compared to 3 years ago. That's not because they change. Changing schools doesn't make you better. That means you just adapt. To get better, you got to dig your feet in the ground and be around the same environment. That's how you grow. You don't grow by changing. You grow by taking on the challenges and responsibilities. And I'm just telling you, I've said this to everyone that cares to listen. It's my opinion. You know how people have opinion that I'm some moron that don't know what he's doing? That's awesome. Well, guess what? I get out of bed, I have opinions too, so I get to share mine. 5-6 years from now, all of us adults in the room, we're going to look back and we're going to say, why did we allow all this to happen? Why did we allow these kids to transfer 5 times and get no degree? Now they got no home, no degree, and no more opportunities to make revenue sharing, NIL, whatever you want to call it. That's failing young people. Like when I was 18, you let me do whatever I wanted to do, I'd do some stupid stuff too. Like, and life's about structure. And right now we've created a world where We've given no structure, and then we want to judge young people by taking advantage of the rules that people my age have put in place.
Yeah. Well, the good news is you do have that structure with those guys that you just mentioned,
Yep.
Raleigh, Castanera as well
Yep.
on the squad. And so those are guys you're going to be relying on to lead this unit into battle as we record this on the Monday, the week before, tip-off against Marshall.
Yep.
Monday night, November 3rd at the Mullen Center. What are you going to do in these final 5-6 days to get ready for the opener?
When you said what you going to do,
What you gonna do?
I thought you were going Hulk Hogan
When
on me.
Hulkamania. We can just cut wrestling promos. We should totally do that, right?
You want to run that question by me again?
Yeah. What's on your docket of, hey, here's some things we have to cover before before the first
defensive rebounding. We got to get better. Defensively, we this week we got to take a big step forward defensively. It's not that we're bad; we're really competitive, and we play with the desire. We got to clean up our rotations. We got to clean up. We still got too much gambling, and I don't know. I'm not real bright for a lot of stuff, but I try to analyze words with the world. Gambling's a difficult topic in our business.
I was going to say
right
that was
now.
a tough word to use there.
Well, but if you go to Vegas, if gambling worked, the hotels wouldn't look the way they do. So when you're on the court, it's the same way. Anytime you take a chance, 80% of the time you're exposing your teammates to a bad situation behind you. So we got to play a little bit more discipline. We're aggressive. But we still have a little too much lunging and reaching, and which puts you off balance, and that creates problems for us behind us. We don't have a 7'4" shot blocker back there. We don't have that, and we're not going to have it halfway through the year either. So we got to make sure that our perimeter defense is the best it's been, and if we can do that, it gives us a chance. So if you think back to 2 years ago, we were good. We didn't have shot blocking. Matt Cross, Josh Cohen, they weren't shot blockers. But Matt was incredible, was throwing his body in the way of stuff and just making it hard at the rim. But that team, as the year went on, Keon, Rasul, Jaden Jinga as a freshman, it's one of the reasons Jaden earned a starting job that year, is because I knew that if we weren't good on the perimeter, there was going to be a problem at the rim. We grew defensively, and as the year went on, we became a really good team.
I got to ask you. I mean, the whole gambling
what you going to do?
The gambling scandal that went down in the NBA this past week. Did you have any thoughts, concerns? Maybe my friends are saying, well, these things are inevitable now that we've put that type of DraftKings and live betting in front of everybody's faces. What were your thoughts when you?
So when NIL was first introduced, have I ever shared that thought with you?
I don't recall. Bring it
Okay,
on.
so when NIL was first introduced, I'm at one of these bigwig people in suits meetings with decision makers, and I said, "Okay, this is awesome, sounds great." So now you're giving young people direct line of responsibility to very wealthy people that have no ties to the university other than being an alum or whatever, and they got their own relationship, and it's a money relationship. I said, you know what, people that are willing to do that, you know what they do with their spare money? What? I said, they gamble. So now when that gambler who's entered into a financial responsibility with player A has a bad gambling week, he's going to call player A, who has no idea of what that guy does for the most part. He's going to say to player A, hey, you're awesome. And, we got a great business relationship. If for some reason your foot hurts this week and you don't play for the next 7 days, I got an extra 30 for you.
Yep.
So now you got players that are showing up and say, hey, my foot hurts. Like, ain't nothing wrong with your foot. What do you mean it hurts? No, it hurts. I can't play. And that's happening around the country. You don't think that happens in the NBA?
Yeah. It's a little more shocking, I think, for folks because they see all the money that NBA players and coaches and the like make. But
there's
that
no
money
way.
can go away quickly for a lot of those guys.
There's no way. And I've heard the arguments, well, if you legalize it, then you can govern it. I've heard all that. I think that's the biggest bunch of baloney I've ever heard. That just means gamblers are trying to have more. They want to be able to gamble more with less in more places rather than being restricted as to where they gamble. That means gamblers don't want to go to Vegas and Atlantic City or to the local Indian casino. They want to just be able to gamble at any time, 24 hours a day. That's all that means, all right? Which, unfortunately, our TV networks and our people doing what we do is flooded with gamblers.
So that, like, whatever, I think people should have the ability to do it, but I don't want to turn on a game and have it just jammed down my throat. Live odds, prop bets.
Like, that's what we've done.
Yes.
And we've embraced, like, being in bed with companies that are all about gambling. We can't complain then when
something happens.
When now there's bad characters in every walk of life. I don't know, bad attorneys, bad doctors, bad coaches, bad players. There's people that decide to work in the dark, and there's people that decide to work in the light. It's the nature of our world. I shouldn't say our world, our country.
Yeah.
It's the way it is. There's two. Anytime there's a lot of money, there's going to be a lot of problems, and our game has generated a lot of money, both at the collegiate level and at the professional level. So you're going to have issues, and gambling, unfortunately, is a big one. That was embarrassing, by the way. The stuff I said. You asked me about the NBA.
Yeah,
that was embarrassing.
Yeah,
because it's embarrassing to me that those behaviors have been taking place for a while, and I didn't spend a lot of time reading into it, but it sounds like I don't think those are the only three.
Yeah,
and it sounds like some decision makers were aware. And they continued to allow those guys to coexist in those places. That, to me, is embarrassing.
Like a cover-up.
They just allowed them to, like, listen, Jay, I'm employed here. They just passed a rule now where if I want to gamble, I can.
November 1st.
I think it's the dumbest thing.
To be clear, that's not UMass. That was the NCAA.
No, NCAA. It blew my mind that athletes and coaches now that we can actually sit there and gamble. I'm like,
on the pro game, though, not on the college game, right?
That's where it starts.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's okay to smoke cigarettes at the park, but not at your house.
Right.
Like, really?
Yeah.
What do you think? What do you think the next step?
Once you open that door.
Come on.
Yeah.
Once you dip your toe in that world, you're going to start dipping it in more ways than one. I don't know a single gambler. People that gamble, do you know gamblers? I do.
Yeah.
They gamble on everything. Yeah. They don't just gamble on one sport.
Because then it gets pushed to you and they're saying, hey,
gamble
here's the next game. Yeah. All right. So I just thought that was just a wild
It makes
story.
No sense. But my thing is, there's people that knew what was going on.
Right.
If I'm doing something illegal and they allow me to keep my job, come on, man. Like, then the people that I answer to, they better get called to the mat too. It makes no sense. I think stuff like that happens in every walk of life because there's bad apples everywhere. It's the people that knew what was going on and yet they acted like they didn't know. That's the problem. You know who my new favorite coach in America is?
Who?
The football coach at Indiana University.
Yeah.
Kurt Signetti. Don't know him, never met him. He did a press conference. They beat Oregon at Oregon handily, and then all the so-called talking heads predicted Michigan State the next week was going to be a problem. He went into the Michigan State game, and they pounded Michigan State. So after the game, it was a press conference, and, everyone thought this was a trap game, and how do you get these guys so prepared, blah, blah. He had the greatest answer of all time. He said, the one thing that most of you don't comprehend is that if you end up taking the job I got, you don't get to be a nice guy very often. That's the biggest misconception that exists, is that when you're the guy in charge, you're not the nicest guy in the room. It's the other way around. Because if not, people walk.
You have to be.
If not, it's not like I don't.
Tough.
You think Nick Saban enjoyed coming?
Abrasive.
You think Nick Saban enjoyed show? You see how fun he is on TV?
Yeah.
Why? Because he's just talking now. There's no competitiveness. There's no one's job's not on the line because you fail or because somebody does something half, you know what. That's who he is. That's why he's so good. But now you put him in the world where it's about competing. You don't get to be the nicest guy in the world and keep that job. And it's the biggest fallacy that exists, that some of these successful head coaches are these wonderful, nice guys. No, they're not. There's some hard-driving dudes. And the guy from Indiana, the fact that he was willing to come out there and say it, I can't wait to meet him. I want to hug him because I want to walk down the aisle with him because I know with him I got a chance to win.
All right, so we got you down for Indiana national championship, at least rooting for an Indiana national championship.
Hey, and here's
on
another,
the field.
One of the greatest wrestling promo lines of all time. I can't remember if it was Hulk Hogan or and Randy Macho Man. They had the little feud going on. The
Miss
orchestrated
Elizabeth
feud.
in there. Yep. Okay.
And he came out and he gave him the whole Hogan. He said 1-on-1, no problem. 2-on-1, possible problem. That's the truth.
You get teamed up on. Well, you'll be 1-on-1 against Marshall. Hoping to get everybody here Monday night at the Mullins Center. And this will kick off your 4th season.
Crazy.
At UMass.
Unreal.
I mean, I remember when you arrived and we interviewed you right on the middle of the court.
Unreal.
Our man George Brisbane was here helping guide you all around the university. And, I mean, you've got continuing to your words that you've continued to grow as a coach, especially in this new era of college athletics. So what's the ceiling for this team as we head into year 4 for you?
When guys are as committed to competing and playing hard the way these guys are, I would never put a ceiling on them. I think when you're that committed to being a positive influence on each other, to compete and to being fearless to who's on the other side, that's somebody that's going to continue to ascend. I thought at this time last year, I thought that our team had some of those qualities. Unfortunately, I didn't realize that some guys didn't play well with each other until this time last year. Yeah. And it was like right in the middle, right at the beginning of the season when I started trying to fix all that. And when you're trying to fix some of those behaviors, it's hard to win games at the same time unless you're like freakishly talented.
That's like a root problem.
That's a problem. You got to fix that. And the only way to win while you're fixing that behind the scenes is to have like freakishly talented guys. Well, if you remember the first 8-10 games of the year last year, our field goal percentage from 2, 3, and the foul line was atrocious. So it was hard to win. But eventually we started to figure it out. So what I did this year is and we spoke about it, I'm just regurgitating it here. I've started playing lineups together a lot earlier so I can figure out, because you can feel it as a coach, what two guys on the court don't vibe with each other. I think I've got a pretty good feel on that. There's not a lot of that on our team this year. On the contrary, there's very willing teammates with each other. So I think we'll be better prepared to handle adversity early in the year because of these decisions that we made as coaches to expose our team to that at an earlier stage.
You have a 20-win team from a year ago coming in to start the season. So, I just think about, hey, you're not a finished product. We talked about this last time at the beginning of the season. Obviously, you want to win all these games to start the year, but sometimes it does take a while for those guys to mesh together and grow as a unit.
But guess what? The opponent's going through the same things too.
Yeah.
That's why I said, so early in the year, we're all trying to figure all that out. If the ball goes in the basket, you can still win games while you're masking some of your problems. Yeah. For us last year, we couldn't score, so excuse me, if you remember West Virginia, we're like right there.
You're in it, yeah.
Right there, and then we ended up in a huge deficit, and then we battled back, and same thing happened against Louisiana Tech, and The only game where we got just railroaded was Florida State. And even in that game, we're up 2 with about 3 minutes to go in the first half. And we just didn't have that connectivity. And then the ball, since we didn't have freakishly talented offensive players, the ball wouldn't go in the basket. And when you shoot 40% and you're 5 feet and 47% from your free throw line, it's going to be hard.
Yeah.
And so then you got to be really connected. These guys seem to me that on days that we're not scoring, they get along and play hard enough where we can try to survive on those days.
I think that was probably one of the more frustrating things because you'd get guys open, they wouldn't make shots, or they'd be in the lane and just couldn't convert.
Yeah.
And then you had referenced, okay, a couple of years ago, Josh Cohen just had a knack to put things in. Matt Cross.
Correct.
Leo Bettiol, does he have that touch around the hoop? I mean, some of these guys in the paint do have that ability to get it to go.
Yeah. Dan's a lot better. Yep. Sanford, that is. He's a lot better at that. Leo's an established 13-point-a-game guy, and all he did was score in the lane. We're at Abilene Christian. We're putting Leo in some different things offensively, which I think he's going to be really good at for us. But once it gets in there, he's very comfortable scoring. He missed free throws the other night. He's actually a really good free throw shooter. So I'm not worried about that. But we're in a better mindset to start a season. Does that mean we're going to win? I have no idea. But it means that when we hit adversity, whether it's in the middle of the Marshall game or it's in game 2, game 3, whenever, these guys are going to figure out a way to rely on each other to make the next play, to figure out a way to win, to adapt. Like you just brought up the Brown game. We weren't making shots. So instead of being up 5, 6, 7, we're down 5 at halftime. There's no pouting. There's no moping. There's no, man, he don't pass me the ball. No, we came out and we just played better. Yep. And figured out a way to make shots and get the right guy shots. And so it's I don't put the cart in front of the horse. This is a complicated business we're in. But whatever challenges we got, Marshall and 95% of teams around the country have the same challenges. Who manages that the best? That's who figures it out.
We're all going through the same thing for the most part.
Here, let me show you what you get ready to go through one day here, Jay.
Oh, not me. I'm good.
Oh,
I'm good
Jay,
in that department,
Look
Coach.
at that beautiful dome. I used to say the same thing before COVID, Jay. Look at this thing.
Oh, man. All right, we'll get that nice and polished up for the home opener November the 3rd. Can't wait, Coach. Appreciate you.
Should be fun.
Yeah.
This, I hope. 2 years ago, by the end of the season, our fans were starting to come out.
Yep.
You remember those games against Bonnie's and Fordham? This place was nuts in there, and it was so much fun. Early last year, our fans came out, and our team didn't earn the right to get them to keep coming. And the way we played at the end of the year was just it was frustrating. This team, I think, is going to go out there and continue to build on what we had early last year from an enthusiasm. Mm-hmm. And I think this is a team that's going to grow immensely as we take on the challenges. And I can tell you this, as hard as they play, we need our fans at our home games to help us get over that hump.
Without a doubt. Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Jay.
All right, he is head coach Frank Martin, just being Frank. My name's Jay Burnham. We will see you at the Mullen Center on November the 3rd. Until then, goodbye from Amherst.